My name is May Bowles. I was born in New Jersey in 1870. My childhood was marked by frequent bouts of ill health and many vivid dreams. One such dream occurred when I was 11. I dreamt of a light so bright that when I awoke, I was physically blinded for a whole day. In another, I saw our planet from space. A word was written on the Earth's surface. The only letters I could read were B and H. I did not know what those letters meant, but in my dream, I felt utterly certain that they would transform my life. Sometimes I had visions of a luminous figure whom I sensed to be divine, and at the time interpreted as Jesus Christ. In my 20s, in between times of feeling chained to my bed, I met Lua Getzinger. Her explanation of the return of Christ changed the direction of my life almost in an instant. I consider Lua my spiritual mother, and we became closest friends. Listening to her stories, I developed an intense wish to meet Abdul-Baha. Due to his ongoing status as a prisoner of the Turkish Empire, there were many restrictions on him, including limitations on visitors. When my turn finally came, the first encounter with Abdul-Baha was almost too powerful. I was suddenly carried to too great a height. I felt my soul had come in contact with the divine spirit, and this pure and mighty force overwhelmed me. I found myself at Abdul-Baha's feet. He gently raised me, seated me beside him, and spoke loving words in a voice that shook my heart. I continued to be troubled with illness while on pilgrimage. At one time, the Master canceled a meeting on Mount Carmel, saying we could not go and leave one of the beloved of God alone and sick. A little later, a 3-day trip was planned to the shrine of Baha'u'llah, but I found myself ill again the night before. I told Lua I did not think Abdul-Baha realized I was too weak for that trip. Lua replied, "You will soon realize something of the power of Abdul-Baha." I awoke at dawn, feeling like an essence was flowing through my soul, expanding my being with boundless life and love and happiness. I knew then that Abdul-Baha was praying for his servants. I arose and felt quite well to visit the shrine. Abdul-Baha's example of dealing with adversities made me determined that my frail health would not shackle me. On my return from that first pilgrimage, my inertness was replaced by activity, my muteness with wonderful speech. Perhaps I could not travel to teach as freely as some others, but I could make my home a center of light and learning, and I could find ways to help my city progress. I married William Sutherland Maxwell, an architectural student of Montreal, Canada. At that time, there was not a single other Baha'i in all of vast Canada. But it did not stay like that for long. We offered hospitality to travelers and many people far from their own countries. We held meetings to touch hearts and illumine minds. We supported the Colburn Street Milk Station, where mothers and children could access milk and food. We provided a space for African Canadian women who were prohibited from attending the hospital to give birth. We brought the first Montessori teacher to Canada to open a school. All of these brought me joy and purpose. I was also privileged to return to the Holy Land. Once, when I was spending time with Abdul-Baha's daughter, holding her baby, Abdul-Baha saw me and asked if I would like to have a child. When I replied that it would make me so happy, he asked if I knew the reason I had not was because I was called for the service of God. I looked at him with all my heart and soul and said, I choose whatever God chooses. I have no choice but His. Abdul-Baha clasped me in his arms with the greatest love and said, that is the best choice. The will of God is the best choice. And he continued, I will pray for you, that God will send you that which is best for you. In 1910, I gave birth to a daughter we named Mary. She went on to marry Shoghi Effendi, the grandson of Abdul-Baha, and continued the pattern of spending her life promoting his teachings of the unity of humanity. I dearly missed my beloved daughter, now living so far away, but still found ways to be of service whenever my health allowed. Early in the new year of 1940, I undertook a journey to Latin America with my traveling companion, my niece, Jean Bowles. We planned to teach about Abdul-Baha's message in Brazil. However, when our steamship arrived in Argentina, I could not travel on. I took my last breath of this earthly life in Buenos Aires.
Abdul-Baha's beloved handmaid, distinguished disciple, laden with fruits, garnered through well nigh half a century of toilsome service to the cause she so greatly loved, she set her face towards the southern outpost of the faith in the New World, and laid down her life, in such a spirit of consecration and self-sacrifice, as truly merited the crown of martyrdom.